Lily's life had become a whirlwind of discovery and responsibility. Her dreams, once a private mystery, were now at the center of groundbreaking scientific research. The sketches she created in her notebook weren't just drawings, they were clues to something far bigger than anyone could have imagined. Each symbol, each glowing line, seemed to hint at a hidden truth about the universe. And at the heart of it all was the image of the portal, a massive circular gateway surrounded by intricate runes. Jason and Dr. Hall worked tirelessly alongside Lily, piecing together the meaning behind the symbols. They consulted experts from around the world, linguists who studied ancient languages, physicists who specialized in wormholes, and even historians who examined myths and legends about portals to other realms. Slowly but surely, they began to understand that the portal wasn't just a concept or a metaphor. It was real, or at least, it could be. One evening, as Lily sat in her workshop surrounded by fabric scraps and half-finished dolls, Jason walked in with an excited look on his face. "We found something," he said, holding up a folder filled with papers. The symbols match patterns found in deep space phenomena. Scientists believe these patterns might indicate the presence of natural wormholes. Lily's eyes widened. "You mean the portal could actually exist?" "It's possible," Jason replied. "And if it does, your dreams might be showing you how to find it." The idea sent shivers down Lily's spine. She had always felt like her dreams were trying to tell her something important, but she never imagined they could lead her to a literal doorway to another world. "What do we do now?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "We prepare," Jason said firmly. "If this is real, we need to approach it carefully. We'll gather a team of experts, astronomers, engineers, and safety specialists. Help us locate and investigate the portal." Over the next few weeks, preparations moved quickly. A group of scientists and researchers joined forces, using Lily's sketches and descriptions to pinpoint potential locations where the portal might appear. They focused their search on remote areas known for unusual energy readings and unexplained phenomena. Meanwhile, Lily continued to dream vividly, her visions growing clearer and more urgent. She saw glimpses of alien landscapes, towering structures made of light, and strange beings watching her from afar. Each time she woke up, she scribbled notes furiously, adding new details to the growing collection of information. Finally, the team identified a likely location, a barren desert in the southwestern United States. Satellite images revealed strange electromagnetic activity in the area, consistent with what they expected from a wormhole. With everything ready, Lily and Jason traveled to the site, along with a small group of scientists and technicians. Armed with advanced equipment, they set up camp near the suspected coordinates. The first night was quiet, the vast expanse of stars stretching endlessly above them. Lily lay awake in her tent, staring at the ceiling as her mind raced. What would they find? Would the portal truly open before them? And if it did, what awaited on the other side? Just before dawn, a low hum filled the air, vibrating through the ground beneath their feet. Everyone rushed outside to see a glowing circle forming in the distance, hovering several feet above the sand. Its edges shimmered like liquid light, and the runes etched into its surface pulsed with energy. It was exactly as Lily had described in her dreams. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Dr. Hall broke the silence. "It's real," she breathed, her voice filled with awe. "This is it." Jason turned to Lily, his expression both proud and cautious. "Are you ready for this?" Lily nodded, though her heart pounded in her chest. She stepped forward, drawn to the portal as if by an invisible force. As she approached, the runes began to glow brighter, responding to her presence. A sudden warmth spread through her body, calming her nerves. She reached out a hand, hesitating just inches from the shimmering surface. "Wait," Jason called, rushing to her side. "We don't know what's on the other side. You can't go alone." "I have to," Lily said softly, her voice steady. Despite her fear, "This is why I've been dreaming about it. This is why I'm here." Jason wanted to argue, but he saw the determination in her eyes. He knew she was right. Reluctantly, he nodded. "Be careful," he said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "And promise me you'll come back." "I promise," Lily replied, giving him a small smile. Taking a deep breath, she stepped through the portal. On the other side, Lily found herself standing in a breathtaking landscape unlike anything she'd ever seen. The sky was a swirling mix of colors, shifting and dancing like living paint. Towering crystalline structures rose from the ground, casting prismatic reflections in every direction. In the distance, she saw the same glowing beings she had glimpsed in her dreams, their forms shimmering like starlight dot. As she took in the scene, one of the beings approached her. It didn't speak in words, but its thoughts resonated in her mind. "You are the bridge," it said. "Between worlds, between possibilities." "What do you mean?" Lily asked, her voice trembling. "Your creativity connects dimensions," the being explained. "Through your art, you inspire humanity to reach beyond itself. This place is a reflection of your imagination, a realm of infinite potential." Lily felt tears welling up in her eyes. "Am I dreaming again?" "No," the being replied. "This is real. But remember, the power lies within you. Your dreams are not random, they are messages meant to guide others toward understanding." Before Lily could ask more questions, the being gestured toward the horizon. A doorway appeared, leading back to Earth. Reluctantly, she turned away from the wondrous landscape and stepped through. When she emerged on the other side, the team greeted her with cheers and hugs. "You're back," Jason exclaimed, relief washing over his face. "What did you see?" Lily smiled, still processing everything. "It's hard to explain," she said, "but it's beautiful and full of hope. I think my dreams are meant to help people explore new ideas, to imagine a better future." Over the following months, Lily shared her experience with the world. She became an advocate for creativity and innovation, encouraging others to embrace their unique talents and perspectives. Her dolls inspired countless projects, from renewable energy systems to space exploration initiatives. Together with Jason and Dr. Hall, she helped turn her visions into tangible advancements that benefited humanity. Though she never returned to the portal, Lily often dreamed of the alien world, finding comfort in its beauty and wisdom. She realized her journey wasn't about fame or fortune, it was about connection, both with others and with the boundless possibilities of the universe. In the end, Lily proved that even the smallest acts of creativity could spark extraordinary change. And with Jason by her side, she continued to dream, design, and inspire, leaving a legacy that would shape generations to come. The attention surrounding Lily's dolls reached new heights. Her designs, inspired by her vivid dreams, were no longer just toys, they had become cultural phenomena. People of all ages were captivated by the intricate details and imaginative worlds she brought to life. Collectors lined up for limited edition releases. Parents bought them as gifts for their children, and even adults who loved science fiction couldn't resist adding one to their shelves. The Stellar Guardian doll remained the most popular, but other creations like the Celestial Explorer and the Nova Knight quickly gained followings of their own. Jason watched with pride as Lily's confidence grew. She was no longer the shy girl he'd met on that cold street corner. Now she spoke openly about her creative process during interviews, sharing snippets of her dreams and how they inspired her work. Reporters called her a prodigy, and fans hailed her as a visionary. But Jason knew better than anyone that fame came with its own set of challenges, and for Lily, those challenges were mounting fast. One afternoon, while reviewing sales reports in his office, Jason received an urgent call from Dr. Emily Hall. "We need to talk," she said, her tone unusually serious. "It's about Lily's designs." Jason's stomach tightened. "What's wrong?" It's not necessarily bad, Dr. Hall replied cautiously. But we've made some interesting discoveries. Can you come over? Bring Lily if possible. Jason agreed and arranged to meet later that day. When he arrived at the lab with Lily, Dr. Hall greeted them warmly but looked visibly tense. She led them to a conference room where several large screens displayed diagrams, equations, and images of Lily's dolls. On one screen, a glowing blueprint overlaid a photo of the Stellar Guardian. Take a look at this, Dr. Hall began, pointing to the overlay. We compared Lily's designs to our current research on advanced energy systems. What we found is remarkable. These patterns match theoretical models for sustainable power sources, technology that could revolutionize renewable energy. Lily stared at the screen, confusion written across her face. I don't understand, she said softly. How can my dolls have anything to do with real science? That's what we're trying to figure out, Dr. Hall admitted. Your designs aren't just artistic, they're functional. For example, the glowing lines on the Stellar Guardian resemble circuits capable of storing and transferring energy efficiently. And the armor's structure mimics materials we've been developing for space exploration. Jason leaned forward, his mind racing. Are you saying Lily's dreams might be connected to actual scientific breakthroughs? Dr. Hall hesitated before nodding. It's possible. Or maybe her subconscious is tapping into universal principles of design and innovation. Either way, her work has immense potential, not just for art, but for solving real-world problems. For Lily, the revelation was overwhelming. She had always thought her dreams were strange and personal, something she kept hidden because she feared being misunderstood. Now they were being dissected by scientists and engineers, treated as blueprints for the future. It felt surreal, almost invasive. What does this mean for me? She asked, her voice trembling. Am I supposed to keep making dolls, or am I supposed to help build machines now? Dr. Hall smiled kindly. You don't have to choose. Your creativity bridges both worlds. By continuing to design, you're giving us insights we wouldn't otherwise have. Think of yourself as a translator between imagination and reality. Though reassured, Lily still felt uneasy. As much as she wanted to believe she was helping, the pressure of carrying such responsibility weighed heavily on her. Jason noticed her discomfort and stepped in. Let's take it one step at a time, he said firmly. No one expects you to solve humanity's problems overnight. Just keep doing what you love and we'll handle the rest. With Jason's encouragement, Lily returned to her workshop, determined to focus on her art. She poured her emotions into her next project, a doll she called the Eclipse Sentinel. Its outfit featured swirling patterns resembling solar flares, and its helmet bore symbols similar to those she often saw in her dreams. When she finished, she felt a sense of accomplishment, but also unease. Every stitch seemed to carry meaning. Beyond her understanding. Meanwhile, news of Lily's connection to cutting-edge technology spread rapidly. Scientists, entrepreneurs, and government officials began reaching out, eager to collaborate. Some praised her as a genius, while others questioned whether her abilities were natural or artificially enhanced. Conspiracy theories surfaced online, speculating that Lily was part of a secret experiment or had unknowingly accessed classified information. Jason shielded Lily from the chaos as best he could, filtering calls and managing public statements. He hired a team of PR experts to protect her image and ensured she stayed focused on her work. Still, the scrutiny took its toll. One evening, after another long day of sewing and answering questions from reporters, Lily broke down in tears. I didn't ask for any of this, she cried, clutching one of her unfinished dolls. All I wanted was to help Mom. Why does everyone think I'm some kind of miracle worker? Jason sat beside her, pulling her into a comforting hug. Because you are extraordinary, Lily, he said gently. But that doesn't mean you have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're still just a kid, and you deserve to live your life without constantly worrying about expectations. Lily sniffled, wiping her eyes. What if I mess everything up? What if people stop believing in me? They won't, Jason assured her. And even if they do, I'll always believe in you. That's what matters most. Over time, Lily learned to navigate the spotlight with more resilience. She continued collaborating with Dr. Hall's team, providing sketches and ideas that fueled groundbreaking innovations. Engineers used her designs to develop prototypes for lightweight exosuits and portable energy cells, technologies that could benefit industries ranging from medicine to space travel. Each success brought Lily closer to understanding the true scope of her gift. At home, Susan noticed the change in her daughter. While Lily still struggled with stress and self-doubt, she also radiated a quiet strength. You've grown so much, Susan told her one evening as they sat together in the living room. I'm proud of you, sweetheart. Your dad would be too. Lily smiled, feeling a surge of gratitude. I couldn't have done it without you or Jason. He's been like a second father to me. Susan nodded, her expression thoughtful. He cares about you deeply. Don't forget to thank him. The following week, Lily decided to show her appreciation by creating a special doll for Jason. She named it the Visionary Leader, dressing it in a miniature suit and tie with tiny glasses perched on its nose. When she presented it to him, Jason laughed heartily, touched by the gesture. This is incredible, he said, holding the doll up to inspect it closely. But I hope you know I'm not nearly as stylish as this guy. You're better. Lily replied with a grin. Thank you for everything, Jason. I wouldn't be here without you. Jason placed a hand on her shoulder, his eyes soft with emotion. You're the one who's done all the hard work, Lily. I'm just lucky to be along for the ride. As the months passed, Lily's influence expanded beyond art and science. Her story inspired countless others, especially young people who dreamed of making a difference. Schools invited her to speak about perseverance and creativity, and charities approached her to partner on fundraising campaigns. Through it all, she remained humble, reminding herself that her journey had started with a simple desire to help her mother. Yet, despite her success, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that her dreams held deeper secrets. They grew more vivid and detailed, often leaving her restless at night. Sometimes she woke up convinced she had visited another world entirely, a place filled with wonders and dangers alike. She began sketching these visions obsessively, filling notebooks with landscapes, creatures, and symbols she didn't fully understand. One evening, while flipping through her latest sketches, Jason noticed a recurring motif, a massive circular portal surrounded by glowing runes. Have you seen this before? He asked, pointing to the image. Lily frowned, studying it carefully. I think so, in my dreams. It feels important, like it's leading somewhere. Jason's curiosity deepened. Do you think it's a message? Or maybe a destination? I don't know, Lily admitted. But I feel like I'm supposed to find out. Together, they began researching the symbols, consulting experts in linguistics, archaeology, and astrophysics. Slowly, pieces of the puzzle started coming together. The portal, they discovered, resembled ancient depictions of wormholes, natural phenomena capable of connecting distant parts of the universe. Could Lily's dreams be guiding her toward a literal gateway to another world? The possibility thrilled and terrified Lily. If the portal existed, what lay on the other side? Was it a paradise filled with knowledge and beauty, or a dangerous realm inhabited by unknown forces? And if she chose to pursue it, would she ever return? As questions swirled in her mind, Lily realized her journey was far from over. Her dreams weren't just inspiring art or advancing science. They were pointing her toward something greater, something unimaginable. With Jason by her side, she prepared to take the next step, ready to embrace whatever destiny awaited her. Lily's success with the Stellar Guardian doll was unlike anything she had ever imagined. The design became an overnight sensation, and orders poured in faster than she could keep up. Fans flooded her social media pages with praise, calling the doll a masterpiece and out of this world. Some even claimed it felt like holding a piece of the future in their hands. For Lily, the excitement was overwhelming, but so was the pressure. Jason noticed how hard Lily was pushing herself. She spent hours each night sewing tiny details onto the futuristic outfits, her fingers blistered from constant stitching. Her schoolwork suffered even more, and her teachers grew increasingly concerned. One afternoon, Mrs. Peterson pulled her aside again. "Lily," she said gently, "I can see you're working very hard, but your grades are slipping. If this keeps up, you might not pass the semester." Lily nodded, feeling guilty. She knew her teacher was right, but she didn't know how to fix it. "I'll try harder," she promised. I don't want to let anyone down." Mrs. Peterson placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You're doing amazing things, Lily, but remember, you're still young. You have your whole life ahead of you. Don't burn yourself out before you even get started." Lily appreciated the advice, but it didn't make things easier. At home, her mother, Susan, tried to help as much as she could. Though Susan's health was improving thanks to the money from the doll sales, she still wasn't strong enough to take on too much physical work. Instead, she offered moral support, reminding Lily to rest whenever she could. One evening, Jason stopped by unannounced. He had been keeping tabs on Lily's progress and could see the toll it was taking on her. When he walked into her living room, he found her surrounded by fabric scraps and half-finished dolls, her face pale with exhaustion. "Lily," he said firmly, "you need to slow down." "I can't," she replied, shaking her head. "People are waiting for their orders. If I stop now, they'll lose interest." Jason sat down beside her, his tone calm but serious. "Listen to me. You've already done incredible things. But if you keep going at this pace, you'll burn out and then what? Your mom needs you. School needs you. And most importantly, you need you." Lily sighed, feeling torn. She wanted to believe him, but the weight of responsibility felt impossible to ignore. "What am I supposed to do?" she asked quietly. "I can't just stop making dolls." "You don't have to stop," Jason assured her. "But you need help. Let's bring in some assistance people who can sew and assemble the dolls under your direction. That way, you can focus on designing new ideas instead of doing everything yourself." The idea made sense, but Lily hesitated. "I don't want to lose control of my work," she admitted. "These dolls are special to me." "You won't lose control," Jason said. "You'll still oversee every step of the process. But having a team will give you more time to focus on what you do best, creating." After some thought, Lily agreed. Jason quickly arranged for a small team of seamstresses and artisans to assist her. They worked out of a rented space near his office, turning it into a makeshift workshop. With their help, production sped up, and Lily finally had a chance to catch her breath. As the workload eased, Lily found herself thinking more about the strange dreams that had inspired this stellar guardian. They were becoming more vivid, almost like memories rather than fantasies. She dreamt of alien landscapes, towering machines, and glowing symbols etched into stone. Sometimes she even heard voices speaking in languages she didn't understand. These dreams left her restless, as though they were trying to tell her something important. One day, while sketching a new design, Lily mentioned the dreams to Jason. "It's weird," she said. "They feel so real. Like I've actually been there." Jason listened intently, his curiosity piqued. "Have you ever told anyone else about them?" "No," Lily admitted. "I'm scared they'll think I'm crazy." Jason shook his head. "Don't be afraid to share things like this. Dreams can reveal a lot about who we are, and sometimes they can lead us to places we never expected." Encouraged by his words, Lily decided to explore her dreams further. She began writing them down in a notebook, jotting down every detail she could remember. Over time, patterns emerged. Certain symbols appeared repeatedly, along with recurring themes of exploration and survival. Inspired by these visions, she started incorporating them into her doll designs, creating characters that seemed to belong to another world entirely. One afternoon, while reviewing some of Lily's older sketches, Jason stumbled upon a drawing that caught his eye. It was a doll dressed in intricate armor, similar to the Stellar Guardian, but this one had additional details, glowing lines running along its limbs, and a helmet shaped like a starburst. The design reminded him of something he had seen years ago, a concept he once pitched to investors for advanced wearable technology. Back then, his idea had been rejected as too ambitious. Now, looking at Lily's sketch, he couldn't help but wonder if there was a connection. Where did you get the idea for this? He asked, showing her the drawing. Lily frowned, studying it carefully. I don't remember drawing this, she admitted. But it looks familiar, like I saw it in one of my dreams. Jason's curiosity deepened. Do you mind if I show this to someone? A scientist friend of mine might find it interesting. Lily hesitated, but eventually nodded. Okay, but please don't tell anyone it came from my dreams. I don't want people to think I'm making things up. Jason promised to keep her secret and sent the sketch to Dr. Emily Hall, a physicist specializing in experimental technologies. To his surprise, Dr. Hall responded immediately, asking to meet in person. When they gathered in Jason's office, the following week, she wasted no time getting to the point. This design is remarkable, Dr. Hall said, pointing to the glowing lines on the sketch. It resembles blueprints for energy-efficient exosuits currently under development. The problem is, those designs are classified. How did you come across this? Jason glanced at Lily, who looked nervous. It's complicated, he said diplomatically. Let's just say Lily has a unique talent for visualization. Dr. Hall raised an eyebrow but didn't press further. Instead, she suggested running tests to determine whether Lily's designs held any scientific merit. Reluctantly, Lily agreed, trusting Jason to protect her interests. Over the next few weeks, Lily worked closely with Dr. Hall and her team. They analyzed her sketches, comparing them to existing research and prototypes. What they discovered shocked everyone. Several of Lily's designs aligned perfectly with cutting-edge technologies that hadn't yet been publicly released. It was as if she had access to information far beyond her years or her world. Jason was both amazed and unsettled. How is this possible? He asked Dr. Hall during a private conversation. Is she seeing the future or something? Dr. Hall shrugged, her expression thoughtful. We may never know for sure. But whatever the source of her inspiration, it's clear she has a gift. If we nurture it, she could help push humanity forward in ways we can't even imagine. For Lily, the experience was overwhelming. She struggled to understand what was happening to her, torn between fear and fascination. Jason stayed by her side, offering reassurance whenever she doubted herself. You're not alone in this, he told her. Whatever these dreams mean, we'll figure it out together. With Jason's support, Lily continued to channel her visions into her work. Her doll line expanded to include more sci-fi-inspired designs, each one capturing the imagination of fans around the world. Sales skyrocketed, and soon, Lily's creations were being featured in magazines and TV interviews. People marveled at her creativity, calling her a prodigy and a visionary. But beneath the surface, questions lingered. Was Lily truly dreaming of another world, or was her mind tapping into hidden knowledge buried within human potential? And if her designs held the key to groundbreaking discoveries, what responsibilities came with that power? As the days turned into weeks, Lily realized her journey was far from over. Her dreams weren't just inspiring art. They were opening doors to possibilities no one had dared to dream of before. Together with Jason, she prepared to step through those doors, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Things were moving quickly for Lily. Orders for her dolls were coming in faster than she had ever imagined. The website Jason had helped her create was getting hundreds of visitors every day, and social media posts about her creations were being shared widely. People loved the unique designs and the charming stories behind each doll. Lily felt a mix of pride and disbelief as she packed boxes to ship out, knowing that her hard work was paying off. But as the days went on, challenges began to pile up. For one, Lily was struggling to keep up with the demand. She worked late into the night, sewing and stuffing dolls, but no matter how fast she went, it never seemed like enough. Her hands ached from holding needles for hours, and her eyes burned from staring at fabric patterns under dim light. Still, she pushed herself, determined not to let anyone down. At school, things weren't going much better. Lily was tired all the time, barely able to focus during class. Her grades started slipping, and her teachers noticed. One afternoon, Mrs. Peterson, her math teacher, pulled her aside after class. "Lily," she said gently, "is everything okay? You seem distracted." Lately, Lily hesitated, unsure how much to say. Finally, she decided to be honest. "I've been working on something important," she admitted. "It's helping my mom, but it's also really hard to balance with school." Mrs. Peterson nodded thoughtfully. "I understand wanting to help your family, but don't forget to take care of yourself too. If you need extra support, let me know." Lily thanked her teacher and promised to try harder, but inside, she knew it wasn't going to be easy. Balancing school, her mother's care, and the growing business felt impossible. Every day was a juggling act, and she often wondered how long she could keep it up. Meanwhile, at Jason's company, not everyone was thrilled about his decision to help Lily. Some of his employees whispered behind closed doors, questioning why. Their CEO, a man known for making billion-dollar deals, was spending so much time on a small project involving handmade dolls. During a meeting one morning, one of his senior managers, a tall man named Kevin, brought it up directly. "Jason," Kevin said cautiously, "don't get me wrong, I think what you're doing for this girl is admirable. But is it really worth the resources? We have bigger clients, bigger opportunities we could be focusing on." Jason leaned back in his chair, his expression calm but firm. "This isn't just about selling dolls," he replied. "It's about giving someone a chance. Lily has talent, and if we nurture that, she could achieve incredible things. Besides," he added with a smirk, "her dolls are bringing in more revenue than some of our smaller accounts." Kevin didn't argue further, but the tension in the room was clear. Jason ignored it, choosing instead to focus on the progress they were making. He believed in Lily, and he wasn't going to let anyone discourage him or her. Despite these challenges, the biggest hurdle came unexpectedly. One evening, while scrolling through social media, Lily stumbled across a comment on one of her posts. It was harsh and accusing, claiming that her designs were copied from another artist. At first, she dismissed it as nonsense, but then more comments followed, echoing the same accusation. Soon, the backlash grew louder, with people threatening to stop buying her dolls altogether. Panicked, Lily called Jason immediately. "Someone says I stole my designs," she cried, her voice trembling. "What am I supposed to do?" Jason stayed calm, his tone reassuring. "Don't worry, Lily. Accusations like this happen sometimes, especially when you start gaining attention. Let me handle it." The next day, Jason hired a team of lawyers to investigate the claims. They reviewed Lily's sketches, fabric samples, and even old photos of her earlier projects. It turned out that the accusations were baseless. The other artist's work was completely different from Lily's. Still, the damage had been done. Sales slowed temporarily, and Lily felt crushed by the negativity. To make matters worse, reporters began calling, asking for interviews about the controversy. Jason stepped in again, issuing a public statement defending Lily's originality. "These designs are entirely hers," he declared. "Anyone who doubts that clearly hasn't seen the passion and effort she puts into every single doll." Slowly, the tide began to turn. Customers rallied around Lily, flooding her social media pages with messages of support. Many shared photos of their favorite dolls, praising her creativity and craftsmanship. The accusations faded, but the experience left Lily shaken. She realized how fragile success could be, and how quickly it could be taken away. Through it all, Jason remained a steady presence. He visited Lily regularly, checking in on her progress and offering advice. One evening, as they sat together in her living room surrounded by half-finished dolls, he gave her some words of wisdom. "You'll face obstacles like this throughout your life," he said. "People will doubt you, criticize you, maybe even try to tear you down. But the key is to stay focused on what matters most. Don't let fear hold you back." Lily nodded, absorbing his words. She appreciated having someone like Jason in her corner, someone who believed in her even when she doubted herself. With his guidance, she learned to navigate the ups and downs of running a business. She also discovered the importance of trusting her instincts and standing by her work. As weeks passed, Lily's confidence grew. She started experimenting with new ideas, incorporating bolder colors and more intricate details into her designs. One night, while sketching a new outfit for a doll, she found herself thinking about the strange dreams she'd been having lately. In these dreams, she saw vast landscapes filled with glowing cities and towering machines. The images were vivid, almost real, and they inspired her in ways she couldn't explain. She decided to channel those visions into her work, creating a doll unlike any she'd made before. This one wore a futuristic suit of armor, complete with tiny metallic accents and shimmering fabric that caught the light. She named it Stellar Guardian and wrote a story about a brave explorer protecting a distant planet. When she showed it to Jason, his eyes widened in surprise. "This is amazing," he said, turning the doll over in his hands. "Where did you get the idea for this?" Lily shrugged, smiling shyly. "I dreamt it," she admitted. "I know it sounds weird, but sometimes my dreams feel real, like they're trying to tell me something." Jason studied her carefully, his curiosity piqued. "Dreams can be powerful," he said slowly. "Maybe there's more to yours than you realize." For now, though, they focused on launching the new design. Within days of posting pictures online, Stellar Guardian became a sensation. Customers flooded the website with orders, and fans begged for more sci-fi-inspired creations. Lily was thrilled, but she couldn't shake the feeling that there was something deeper behind her inspiration. Back at home, Susan watched her daughter with a mixture of pride and concern. She could see how much Lily had grown over the past few months, both as an artist and as a person. But she also worried about the toll it was taking on her. Late nights and constant stress were wearing her down, and Susan feared it might eventually catch up to her. One evening, as they ate dinner together, Susan reached across the table and took Lily's hand. "You've done so much already," she said softly. "But remember, none of this is worth sacrificing your health or happiness. Your father would want you to take care of yourself." Lily smiled, tears welling up in her eyes. "I know, Mom, and I promise I'll try. But I can't give up, not yet. Not when we're so close." Susan nodded, squeezing her hand. "Just promise me you'll lean on Jason if you need help. You don't have to do everything alone." Lily agreed, knowing her mother was right. As challenging as things had been, she was grateful for the support she had from her mom, from Jason, and from the growing community of people who loved her dolls. Together, they were proving that even the smallest efforts could lead to extraordinary outcomes. Little did Lily know, the journey was far from over. Her dreams, once dismissed as mere fantasies, held secrets that would soon change everything. For her, for Jason, and perhaps even for the world. The next morning, Lily woke up earlier than usual. Her mind was buzzing with thoughts of the man she had met the night before, Jason Brooks. She still couldn't believe that someone like him, a wealthy CEO, would take an interest in her small project. It felt surreal, almost like a dream. But when she looked at the business card he had given her, sitting on the kitchen counter, she knew it was real. Her mother, Susan, was sitting at the table, sipping weak tea. Susan's face was pale, and dark circles under her eyes showed just how tired she was. Despite her illness, she tried to smile whenever Lily entered the room, not wanting her daughter to worry too much. "You're up early," Susan said softly. "Did something happen?" Lily hesitated for a moment, unsure how to explain what had happened. Finally, she decided to tell the truth. "I met someone last night," she began. "A man named Jason. He saw my dolls and said he wants to help me sell them online through his company." Susan raised an eyebrow, surprised. "That's quite an offer," she said cautiously. "Are you sure you can trust him?" "I think so," Lily replied. "He seemed really nice, and I don't know, Mom, he looked like he meant it. He even bought 4 dolls from me." Susan sighed, rubbing her temples. "Lily, sweetheart, I know you're trying your best to help, but we have to be careful. Not everyone has good intentions." Lily nodded, understanding her mother's concern. Still, deep down, she felt a flicker of hope. If Jason could truly help her reach more people, maybe they'd finally have enough money for the surgery Susan desperately needed. After breakfast, Lily picked up the phone and dialed the number on the business card. Her hands trembled slightly as she waited for someone to answer. To her relief, Jason himself picked up after just a few rings. "Hello?" His voice came through, calm and steady. "Hi, Mr. Brooks," Lily stammered. "It's me, Lily, from last night." "Oh, Lily." Jason sounded genuinely pleased. "Good morning. Did you sleep well?" "Yes, thank you," she replied, feeling a bit awkward. I wanted to talk about what you said, about helping me sell the dolls." "Of course," Jason said. "I meant every word." "Are you free to meet today? We can discuss the details." Lily glanced at her mom, who gave her a small nod of encouragement. "Yes, I'm free," she said. "Where should I go?" Jason told her the address of his office building and promised to send a car to pick her up. When Lily hung up, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had never been inside a place like Jason's office before. What if she made a mistake? Or said something wrong? Later that afternoon, a black car pulled up outside their modest apartment building. A kind-looking driver stepped out and opened the door for Lily. As she climbed in, she couldn't help but feel out of place. The seats were soft leather, and the interior smelled faintly of expensive cologne. Everything about the car screamed wealth, a stark contrast to the life she was used to. When they arrived at the office building, Lily's jaw dropped. It was massive, with glass walls that reflected the sunlight like a giant mirror. People dressed in suits hurried in and out, clutching briefcases and chatting on their phones. The lobby was filled with the hum of activity, and Lily felt tiny amidst all the noise and movement. Jason greeted her personally, shaking her hand with a warm smile. "Welcome, Lily," he said. "I'm glad you came." "Thank you for inviting me," she mumbled, trying to hide her nerves. He led her to a conference room on the top floor, where a large table was surrounded by chairs. On the table lay several sheets of paper, along with a laptop displaying colorful graphs and charts. "This is where we'll plan everything," Jason explained. "First, let's talk about your goals. How many dolls do you think you can make in a week?" Lily thought for a moment. "Maybe 10 or 12, she said. "But I'll need supplies, fabric, thread, stuffing." "That costs money," Jason nodded. "Don't worry about that. My company will cover the cost of materials. In return, we'll split the profits 50-50. Does that sound fair? Lily blinked, stunned. 50% of the profits would be more money than she'd ever imagined earning. That sounds amazing, she whispered. But why are you doing this? You don't even know me. Jason leaned back in his chair, studying her carefully. Let's just say I see potential in you, he said. And besides, I've been where you are. Growing up, my family didn't have much. Someone helped me once, and now I want to pay it forward. His words touched Lily deeply. For the first time, she allowed herself to believe that this partnership might actually work. Over the next hour, they discussed strategies for marketing the dolls. Jason suggested giving each doll a unique name and backstory, making them more appealing to buyers. He also proposed creating a website dedicated solely to Lily's creations, complete with photos and descriptions. We'll start small, he assured her. Once we build momentum, we can expand. By the time the meeting ended, Lily's head was spinning with ideas. Jason handed her a list of tasks to complete before their next meeting, including designing new doll outfits and writing short stories about each character. Take your time, he said. And remember, I'm here if you need anything. As Lily left the building, she felt a strange mixture of emotions. On one hand, she was excited about the opportunities ahead. On the other hand, she couldn't shake the fear that something might go wrong. What if the dolls didn't sell? What if people didn't like them? What if Jason changed his mind? Back home, she shared everything with her mother, who listened quietly. When Lily finished, Susan smiled weakly. You've got a big heart, Lily, she said. Just promise me you'll stay cautious. Trust is important, but so is protecting yourself. I will, Mom, Lily promised. I won't let you down. Over the following days, Lily threw herself into her work. She spent hours sewing, cutting fabric, and sketching designs. Each doll became a little piece of her soul, infused with love and determination. At night, she wrote stories about the characters, imagining adventures they might embark on. Sometimes she dreamed of faraway worlds, places beyond her wildest imagination. These dreams inspired her, giving her ideas for new outfits and accessories. Jason checked in regularly, offering advice and encouragement. He introduced her to a team of graphic designers who helped create professional-looking images for the website. They also set up social media accounts to promote the dolls, posting pictures and updates daily. Slowly but surely, Lily began to see results. Orders trickled in, mostly from friends and family at first, but then strangers started buying too. One day, while packing a box to ship to a customer, Lily paused and looked around her room. It was cluttered with fabrics, threads, and half-finished dolls, but it had never felt more alive. For the first time in months, she dared to hope not just for her mother's recovery, but for a future where she could keep doing what she loved. Little did she know, this was only the beginning. There were challenges ahead, obstacles she couldn't yet foresee. But for now, she was content, grateful for the chance Jason had given her. Together, they were building something special, something that might change both their lives forever. The city was alive with its usual chaos. Cars honked impatiently, their headlights cutting through the thick fog that had settled over the streets. People hurried by, bundled up in coats to shield themselves from the biting cold of the evening. Among them was Jason Brooks, a man who commanded respect wherever he went. He wasn't tall or overly muscular, but there was something about the way he carried himself, his sharp suit, his confident stride, that made people glance twice. Jason was the CEO of one of the largest tech companies in the country, and his name was often mentioned alongside words like visionary and powerhouse. But tonight, as he walked out of his sleek glass office building, he felt nothing but exhaustion. Jason had spent the entire day locked in meetings, negotiating deals, and reviewing contracts. His phone buzzed constantly in his pocket, each notification reminding him of yet another task waiting for his attention. For a moment, he considered staying late to clear his inbox, but the thought of sitting in his office for even one more minute was unbearable. Instead, he decided to take a long walk home, hoping the fresh air would clear his mind. As he turned onto a quieter street, the noise of the city faded slightly. The shops here were smaller, less flashy than the ones downtown. Most of them had already closed for the night, their windows dark and empty. But then, something caught his eye, a faint glow coming from a corner near the end of the block. Curious, Jason slowed his pace and moved closer. There, under a flickering street lamp, stood a young girl. She couldn't have been older than 12, maybe 13. Her face was pale, her cheeks flushed from the cold, and she wore a thin jacket. That did little to protect her from the weather. In front of her was a small wooden table covered with handmade dolls. Each doll was unique, dressed in colorful outfits stitched together with care. Some had yarn for hair, while others had tiny buttons for eyes. Despite their simplicity, they radiated charm and effort. Jason hesitated for a moment before approaching. He wasn't used to stopping for strangers, especially not on a night like this, when all he wanted was to get home and relax. But there was something about the girl's expression, hopeful yet tinged with sadness, that drew him in. "Hi," he said gently, keeping his voice low so as not to startle her. "What are you doing out here so late?" The girl looked up at him, her big brown eyes widening in surprise. For a second, she seemed unsure whether to answer. Then, after a deep breath, she spoke. "I'm selling dolls," she said softly, gesturing toward the table. "I made them myself." Jason nodded, pretending to examine the dolls more closely. They were simple but well made, each one clearly crafted with love and patience. "They're nice," he commented. "Did you make all of these?" She nodded eagerly. "Yes, sir. I've been working on them for weeks. My mom taught me how to sew when I was little." Her voice trailed off, and Jason noticed the hesitation in her tone. There was more to this story, he realized. "Why are you selling them?" he asked, crouching down so he could look her in the eye. "Most kids your age aren't out here trying to run a business." The girl bit her lip, looking away for a moment. When she finally spoke, her voice was quieter, almost hesitant. "My mom, she's sick, really sick. We don't have insurance, and the hospital bills are piling up. I thought if I sold enough dolls, I could help pay for her treatment." Jason felt a pang of sympathy. He had grown up poor himself, raised by a single mother who worked 2 jobs just to put food on the table. Back then, he'd often dreamed of someone stepping in to help, someone who could ease the burden even a little. Now, years later, he found himself in a position to do exactly that for someone else. "How much are the dolls?" he asked, glancing at the prices scribbled on scraps of paper next to each one. $5, she replied quickly. "But if you want, I can give you a discount. I really need to sell as many as I can." Jason shook his head. "No discounts," he said firmly. "These are worth every penny." Reaching into his wallet, he pulled out a $20 bill and handed it to her. "I'll take 4. The girl's eyes lit up, and for the first time since he'd approached her, she smiled. "Thank you so much, sir. You won't regret it. I promise these are the best dolls you'll ever buy." Jason chuckled softly as he picked up the dolls. "I believe you." As he straightened up, though, he paused. Something about this situation didn't sit right with him. This girl was working harder than most adults he knew, and yet her chances of succeeding were slim. Selling dolls on a street corner wasn't going to save her mother, not unless she reached a much larger audience. "What's your name?" he asked suddenly. "Lily," she answered, still smiling. "Lily Carter." "Well, Lily," Jason said, his tone thoughtful, "I think we might be able to do better than this." Lily tilted her head, confused. "What do you mean?" Jason hesitated for a moment, considering his next words carefully. "I own a company," he explained. We sell products online to millions of customers. If you're willing to work with me, I can help you reach a lot more people than you could. Standing out here in the cold. For a moment, Lily simply stared at him, her mouth slightly open. Then slowly she shook her head. I don't know. That sounds too good to be true. It's not, Jason assured her. But it'll take some effort on your part. You'll need to make more dolls, and fast. And you'll have to trust me. Lily frowned, thinking hard. She didn't know this man, and trusting him felt risky. But at the same time, what choice did she have? Her mother needed help, and she was running out of options. Finally, she nodded. Okay, she whispered. I'll try. Jason smiled, feeling a sense of satisfaction he hadn't experienced in a long time. Good, we'll start tomorrow. Here's my card, call me in the morning, and we'll figure everything out. He handed her a business card, then gave her a final nod before walking away. As he disappeared into the night, Lily stared down at the card in her hand, her heart racing. She didn't know what the future held, but for the first time in weeks, she allowed herself to feel a spark of hope.